What's up YouTube? My name is Razor Rat, and today I'll be reviewing the latest chapter of Blue Lock, chapter 147, Last Strike. So, as you might have gathered from the title, and Yoichi Isagi's foreshadowing clairvoyance scene in the prior chapter, it's no surprise that Blue Lock does indeed come out on top versus the Japan U20 team, with Isagi scoring the final goal. In my opinion, surprisingly little actually takes place in this chapter. However, what does happen is monumental and will have ripple effects throughout the rest of the series. As the first of two critical parts of the chapter, I want to focus in on Rin Itoshi's berserk state when he's in the zone. As Jinpachi Ego states, he brings out his opponent's strongest weapon and focuses on a play that destroys that. We do see Rin do this a number of times against the U21 defenders, where he compromises Neru Tepe's speed with a sharp cut in the opposite direction, as well as rendering Neo Kazuma's physicality useless by using the force of his own charge against him, throwing him off balance. By all measures, this is one of the most powerful Egoist abilities we've seen so far in the series. The model is essentially to crush your opponent at their best in real time through sheer innovation and aggressiveness. That being said, despite the last few chapters showcasing Rin's dominance in this new state, I was highly skeptical that he could overwhelm his older brother with this ability. From what I gathered, there are only two scenarios in which this ability will either not perform optimally or flat out fail. The first we saw in chapter 145, where Rin was double teamed by Oliver Aiku and Sido Ryusei, and although he was able to get a shot off, it is barely blocked because he was forced to shoot from a very extreme position. The second scenario in which this ability would fail, even though we haven't seen it happen yet, is simple. The opponent is better than Rin. And presently, although Rin's evolution during the match has been staggering, Sei Itoshi, his older brother, does strike me as the better of the two. We get some initial sparring with Rin and Sei as the U20 team counters, and Sei is indeed putting Rin up against the wall. He's by no means infinitely better, but clearly has the upper hand. At this point, I am fully expecting Isagi to show up out of nowhere and use his predictions of Rin's movements to somehow help facilitate Blue Lock taking the ball back. And I was wrong. Rin actually manages to stop Sai to my surprise and send the ball back in the direction of the U21 team's goal with a swift kick. I mean, in the context of this series, this does make sense for his character to overcome his brother. But at the end of the day, Rin is the deuteragonist of Blue Lock, and in my mind, the spotlight of the chapter should be reserved for Isagi. Little did I know, two things could be true at once. Rin could beat Sei, and Isagi could steal the show. The second part of the chapter is both satisfying and a fantastic callback to chapter 85. The ball that Rin taps away from Sei lands right in the clutches of Isagi, who scores an epic finisher with his direct shot. The callback to chapter 85 is the element of luck present in this final play. Although Isagi was in the general area of where he could score in this instance, Rin probably just managed to stop his brother Sei and thus could not control where he sent the ball. Just as Rin was in the right place at the right time in chapter 85 to score the goal that he did, Isagi finds himself in a similar position now. And as was stated before, lucky chances do tend to happen to those who work hard and optimize their positioning prior. This is where Isagi's analysis of the field in the prior chapter works its magic, paying dividends as he figured out where to place himself in the hopes of a goal. That place being just outside of where the defenders were, awaiting any kind of steal from Rin. And thus, Blue Lock has emerged victorious. I'm very curious to see where we go in this following chapter, as the two most hyped up enemy characters in the series so far, Itoshi Sei and Sido Ryusei, have just been defeated. Who will be the next big opponent for the Blue Lock cast to challenge? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and with that, I'll be bringing this chapter review to a close. Razor Rat, scurrying on out of here.